Company says I tip too high when I travel. Now I intentionally order more expensive food so I can tip what I think is an appropriate amount. When going over my expense report, my company saw I tipped 20% for lunch one afternoon. Lunch was $15. The tip was $3. They told me that is too much because I wouldn't do that with my money. Heck yeah, I do. I just took the better part of an hour of my server's time. The least I could do is leave $3. It's $3 for crying out loud, but rules are rules. However, my company is fairly generous, allowing me $75 a day to spend on food, which I never do, and that's about to change. For lunch today, instead of my usual salad or sandwich, I went for the lobster grilled cheese. And of course upgrades my regular fries to the duck fat fries. Enjoy saving that 5% for the rest of my travel meal expenses. After years of travel, I got that one also. Company policy is 15%, you tip 20%. However, on the same trip, I heard alcohol was too large a percentage of your last dinner. Well, that's because I was at the airport, and I had a $10 appetizer and an $8 beer as dinner. The next trip, I made sure to order the $10 appetizer and a $15 burger so my $8 beer wasn't too large a percentage. Both bites of the burger were delicious, though. Place I used to work had a policy that was you couldn't exceed X, $50, for meals each day. Co-worker there would go to a bar, order a burger or something, and basically tell the bartender that whatever was left over was their tip. He got a lot of free drinks. Colleague of mine's wife has a similar story. We all worked for the same multinational. She was working on a project that required a 400-ish mile commute about once a week. She'd get a 6 AM flight from a large airport, grab breakfast before she boarded and be at work for 9 AM. Her boss refused to approve her expenses because the breakfast went over the Sirigla 5 limit. Years ago this limit was fine, but they haven't kept pace with inflation, and whilst it works in our main location, it doesn't cover breakfast in the expensive airport. So my boss's wife said fine and then exercise her right to travel up the night before. That's a slightly cheaper flight but also throws in a dinner allowance, an overnight allowance she makes sure to use, and a larger breakfast allowance. After a couple weeks of this, her boss realized she was hammering his project budget and asked her to go back to coming up in the morning. She refused and cited how it's more convenient for her and her family. He put 2 plus 2 together and agreed to approve her breakfast expenses again within reason.